controversy, opinion, your point of view. This is Prime News.
Well, what do you think of this? A judge in Bryan, Texas, slapping a GPS monitoring device on kids who keep skipping class. We're not talking about 5 absences. Some of these kids have over 30. Now, the judge says he needs to do whatever it takes to get them in class.
The law says they need to be in school. And if they don't want to get up, well, we're going to get them there.
There you go. Well, here it is. They have to type in a code when they go to school and then when they come home. And it's not an ankle device, but more like a handheld, more like holding a cell phone. Well, guess what? It's working. And I'm all for it. What else are you going to do with these kids? You're going to give up on them? You got to get tough. You got to put some limits on them. You got to push them in the right direction. Call. What do you think? 1-877-TEL-HLN's the number. Joining me to talk about this, Ruth Waller, Assistant Principal, Truancy Officer at Bryan High School. Also with us, Travis Knox from people that put this all together, the Attendance Improvement Management Company. Ruth, I'll start with you. Give us an idea. What was going on at the school that you'd need something like this to be instituted?
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, we are a very large high school. 3 years ago, when we really started putting a concerted effort to this, and each school created their own truancy officer, particularly to this issue, we had 3,500 kids. And at that time, we began to realize that there were kids that were buying into what Judge Munoz had to say. He does a lot of very innovative things. He sends parents to school with the kids. Huge fines could be issued. Lots of tutorial hours were being issued, community service, Saturday school. He was revoking driver's license or suspending driver's license. So a lot of things were working, but there was this core group of kids that just didn't seem to get it. And most of their parents, most all parents, want help. They want what's best for their kids,
right.
And they're very supportive of the school districts.
Ruth,
so,
go ahead.
yeah, Judge Munoz really began to look at, okay, we can work with the kids that are marginal. Many of them get it after the first time at court, but what are we going to do for the kids that are the habitual, repeat offenders?
How many kids and how many absences are we talking?
You mean like at any point in time?
This core group of kids, how many of them were there and how many absences do they have on their record?
We began, as we really started looking at this, and this is what triggered Judge Munoz to begin to look into the issue and find something, think out of the box, that, of course, now we've ended up with the AIM program. We had probably less than 5%, and now we're down less than 5% of 3 years ago, which was 3,500 kids. Something we've kind of thrown in. We've created another high school, actually 2 more high schools. So now our population is down to 2,400 kids.
Gotcha.
So we're always seeing an improvement, but now what's begun to happen is we began to realize that it was some of the same kids, even same families, year after year. So once we hone that down, and I can't really give you specific numbers.
Right.
But it's very manageable now.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the reason for the new program was to deal with the kids who didn't buy into what the school had to offer, what their parents had to offer, and what the judge had to offer.
Hey, Travis, how'd you link up with the judge here to make this happen?
Judge Munoz, we had we knew and we had read some articles that he was looking for new creative ideas and ways to combat truancy. And through that, we reached out to him, actually, and we presented our program. And GPS is something that is getting a lot more attention, obviously, throughout the nation and with these school districts. And what we did is we have a program that's been developed since 2005 that is much more than GPS. It brings a much more of a coaching and mentoring component to the program, and that's really what helps change the behavior. Our goal is to change the behavior of these kids and reshape the way they think and make decisions.
Travis, lay it out for us then. Okay, so let's say I'm one of these kids. It's not an ankle bracelet. Let's make that clear. It's more like handling a cell phone. So I show up at school, I got to punch in a code. That lets you know I'm in school, right?
Correct.
Let's start there. I punch a code in again when I come home. Now, and that's all well and good. I see the numbers there, 98% success rate during the time they're wearing it, and doesn't fall off much after that, the month after that. We're correct on that front?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
exactly.
You mentioned the coaching. Well, how does that play in, and who's coaching these kids or mentoring them?
Well, what we have is we have people throughout the communities within the school districts that we're in, and we find people that our main criteria is people that are able to work with these at-risk kids, and a lot of the times it is people in the community, whether it be teachers, coaches, volunteers that work with at-risk kids on a daily basis. So it's people that are familiar with these students and how to communicate with them.
And what are you telling them? The importance of going to school and getting their act together? Is that the basis of the message to the kids?
Right. The first goal is to align with the kids and gain the respect of the kids, to gain their trust. And what happens is the first thing we tell them when we put them in the program is we're not here to judge you and we're not here to discipline you. We're here to help you succeed.
Right.
And the first objective is, do you know what success is and what is success to you?
Yeah.
And that's what we try to identify and find. And once we figure that out, then what we do is break down step by step in very attainable steps and coach them on how do you get here. Step 1 is this, step 2 is this, and 3. And it all begins with getting back in school and getting back on track.
Great starting point. Let's get a call in to see what Bill in Pennsylvania has to say about this. Bill, you like the idea?
Yes, I do. And I think it's the best idea that ever came up with school students, because some parents go to work and send their kids to school. But 9 times out of 10, that kid might not be in school. But with this GPS monitor, tracking device, the kids, the mom, the parents will know where their kids is at in school.
Yeah.
For these kids who are skipping school, they would definitely know where the kid is at with this tracking device.
Exactly. Bill likes the idea. A lot of folks like the idea.
I just didn't get up. I stayed, yeah. And sometimes I skipped too.
There you go. There's a student at Bryan High School who needed a GPS monitoring so he could get to school. There, you heard him say he couldn't get up. 16 unexcused absences. I believe he said 36 absences in all. Joining us, Ruth Waller, Assistant Principal, Truancy Officer at the high school. Ruth, any of the students complaining, or is everyone okay with it?
Actually, we've had kids asking us for months when it was finally going to get started. Some of them, the kids that don't skip, think it's a good deal because they don't think it's fair. You know, kids skipping school and sometimes getting away with it. Then, of course, the kids that are thinking, oh, it might be me, have been asking us when it's going to happen. So kids and parents particularly have really bought into this.
Yeah.
We're not hearing much complaining other than they know it's going to work.
Yes, sounds like thumbs up all the way around. Let's get a call in. Matthew's with us in Washington State. Matthew, you like the idea?
Yes, I do. It's a very excellent idea.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be agreeing with this. Let's get a few Facebook comments in. Sue writing, kudos to this judge for trying to do something to control these juveniles. Paula writing, if they're habitual truants, yes, they should do it. It's for their own good and future. And, you know, that's what we want, to open up the eyes of these kids to say, hey, you got to go to school if you want any kind of future. And, Travis, that's, again, got to be part of the message is you have, what, coaches/mentors calling these kids 3 times a week. Is that making the impact there, that follow-up and those phone calls?
That is the main part of what we do. That is where the reframing and the changing, that is the impact. The GPS gets the attention. But our GPS device is not an ankle bracelet. It's a handheld just like a cell phone, you can see, and it's something they carry just like a cell phone. We say that's 20% of what we do is monitor that they get to school and they're where they're supposed to be. 80% of what we do is coach and mentor these kids and have interaction with them and get them the support they need to succeed.
Yeah, that's all it takes, it seems sometimes, to just come alongside someone, open their eyes, especially someone young, troubled a little bit, just can't get to school. We heard them, couldn't get up. Let's get Rachel in on the phones. Rachel in Florida. Go ahead, Rachel.
Hi, I had a question. I was wondering, how do you know who you're actually tracking? Like, if it doesn't have a GPS bracelet or bracelet that tracks with it, how do you know it's not their sister or their brother who doesn't get in trouble and goes to school every day typing in the code for them?
Travis?
Yep,
good question there.
No, it's a great question. They have a sign-in sheet that is required to be initialed by the teachers and someone on campus, and we're steering them also to adults on the campus to help them kind of build that relationship and give them that support they need.
Yeah.
So it's a conglomerate of the school, ourselves, and the courts working together.
And it seems to be working. Again, kudos from everyone on Facebook so far, our phone callers. And another beauty of this is not taxpayer money paying for this. I believe it was some money from some fines going toward this. So, again, it seems like a win all the way around. Ruth, Travis, appreciate it. Continued success with this, getting those kids on the straight and narrow. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you very much.